So, we recently discovered that Japanese pretty much make fun of their police all the time. Drive is also guilty of that. The SCU itself is a parody of a parody, but at the same time... well, let's just watch this double episode. The episode opens with a staple of every developed country: scammers, currently in the process of blackmailing someone or offering to keep a slate clean for a fee, I don't know. But that comes to a halt as a road build appears to exercise justice upon them. It's the latest target of the SCU, who has attacked a loan shark group the same way. Since it's the first time a road build attacks criminals for being criminals, it's a complicated case, but they have been bamboozled before, as Go reminds them. After the shocking revelation that Ryoji is a published author and that the boss is still on vacation, Go tells them about a particular site. People go there to post their grievances, begging a supernatural judge for justice. Sounds like your typical image board, I guess. But either they accidentally ended up on B, or the name Judge has some value for Gen. It's probably the latter, since this is the first time Gen acts like a full-fledged badass policeman in this series. We see him go visit a former colleague and superior officer. Whoever this judge is tied to a case from 5 years before. It holds a particular significance for the both of them. Since Tachibana is no longer a cop, it's up to Gen to arrest this man. Since Shinosuke followed Gen, the older cop decides to confess. Tachibana was his mentor, nicknamed the Demon for the ferocity with which he pursued criminals. The one slight on his career was never being able to apprehend the judge. Just like the road mule in this case, he attacked people via request on a site. Gen and Tachibana almost had him 5 years before, but their suspect was suddenly found dead. He was deemed a suicide, but Tachibana didn't buy it and continued the investigation. In the end though, he retired without ever being able to find the guy. Now he's back in the Formula Road Mule and Gen bows. Either he solves this case or he will quit the force. Fortunately, the site gives them a list of possible next targets. One is a loan shark group, the other is a street gang that's so heavily a homage to A Clockwork Orange, it's just missing a rip sync choreographed to Singing in the Rain. Go is sticking out the ladder, but the judge doesn't show up and is forced to bust them personally. Gen and Shinosuke instead hit the jackpot, even if the older cop is of course not exactly a match for a road mule, and charging it instead of shooting it doesn't exactly help. And incredibly, the judge is also kicking Shinosuke's ass. Unlike most of his other companions, he knows how to fight properly. He manages to disappear without our Kamen Rider managing to even scratch him. A bit like the Clockwork Gang and Go, who impressed the guy he saved so much that he begs him to star in a video series. He had been hoping to catch a judge on camera after putting in a request, but the photographer will do. He would have refused if Kiriko didn't arrive and jumpstart Go's pride. Her Nichan instinct tells her to make a shift cartel the little brother. Back at the SCU, Gen has recovered enough to get back to investigate after asking Rina for a shock-resistant apparatus. Then we move into Plot Hole Land. Gen and Tachibana had been searching for a button that would have proven the suicide guy was a stand-in, but if the guy died alone, and he was the only one to know he had ripped off the button, how did Tachibana and Gen know about it? The other reason why they were convinced it wasn't a suicide is the victim's younger sister. They had made plans to spend their birthday together, which was the day after his death. Gen and Tachibana are the only policemen who believed her though. For Gen, it's not only about his mentor, but also proving a man's innocence, clearing his name, which Judge himself tried to do by sending a letter to the media? but the police believe him to be just a copycat, much to the guy's frustration. Switching to the enforcers, Brain is proposing for this guy to be reset, since he's basically serving the whims of humans, but the other three oppose the notion. It's a good opportunity of studying human emotions, and in this case it's not something as simple and noble as justice. Back with the SEU, Rina finally managed to make something not ridiculous looking, and the next target of Judge is clear since the Clockwork Punks sent a video challenge for him to show up, like they didn't get their tash kicked by a single guy just the previous day. And speaking of Go, he shows up as well and manages to catch Judge in the act, and decides to transform in front of a group of well-positioned, awake and aware eyewitnesses? Go, are you nuts? Go, Judge! Kick his fucking stupid ass for being this fucking stupid, put him to the curb, and speaking of which, I'm already regretting that Judge is just another monster of the day. He's too fucking cool. I want him to stomp on these Clockwork assholes! Sing in the rain now, motherfucker! But of course, the cops arrive before that can happen, and the new gizmo works wonders. The electric attacks of the Romute are useless! Not so much his word though, and for some reason the technique used to knock him out triggers a flashback for Kaen. Unlike Go, Shinosuke is smart enough to move the battle elsewhere before transforming, but even 2 against 1, Judge is still wiping the floor with the riders. Nothing for it, it's type dead hit time! Of course, the sidecar turns the tide of battle, but before Shinosuke can inflict the finishing blow, Chase arrives to save Judge, and before getting away, Kaen manages to confront the Romute one more time and reveal his identity. The sword technique had been used against him before by a person Kaen respects. Here's revealed that the person the Romute has copied is not the criminal from 5 years ago, but his mentor, Tachibana. The episode ends with a pretty desperate cliffhanger. Go's transformation and dead heat have run out, and Chase has stolen Go's bike, engaging the combination, and we all know what that thing's firepower is. For today, we know something with just as much, if not more firepower. Tridron comes to save the day! And then we discover that it's very complicated. This new Judge is indeed a copycat, created by Tachibana and the Romute to lure the real one out. Or at least that's what Tachibana tells Kaen. Shinosuke is a bit skeptic, since the reason is way too calm and collected. The Romutes need strong emotions to feed on, and that emotion is a strong will for revenge. Revenge for an innocent victim and the sister left behind. Left behind with the moniker of Sister of the Murderer. The man she loved ditched her 2 days before her wedding when he found out about her brother. Okay, you know what? I'm with Tachibana here. I don't care if he had to use a Romute, that guy needs to pay! But before Shinosuke can arrest or try to persuade Tachibana, Judge arrives and helps him escape. And speaking of Judge, we learned that the real criminal was the video blog guy who used Go's interview to make it look like he is Judge, which makes the Romute attack him, of course. Although it doesn't make any sense. Go is 19, framing him would mean having people think that the original Judge was 14 years old? The fuck are they smoking? I'll admit that it makes for an amusing fight scene, Mark getting his ass kicked while the two argue who's really Judge, but the fight shifts to him back in the dry cave without showing how he got away, and now he can stay transformed for how long he wants? Hey! Fortunately though, Colorful Commercial can not only project but also record, so they now have the face of the real Judge, but his name is an alias, so finding him may take a while, until the returning chief's gag makes Shinosuke realize there may be more evidence left. And in the meanwhile, the true Judge is making his move by opening another website. Okay, fuck it, this doesn't make any sense. If he wants people to keep believing he's dead, why the fuck is he putting himself in the spotlight? You successfully framed a second person. Stay the fuck hidden instead of acting like a paparazzi war. And no, I'm not surprised that Kaen doesn't connect the dots after his tearful moment with Colorful Commercial. Of course he doesn't. Even though it does lead to revealing the third shift card of the series with a clear personality, also to Kaen having an idea. With Kiriko's help, they make up bait, a request that Judge couldn't refuse based on his patterns from 5 years before. It's a success. Kaen captures and cuffs the real Judge like he promised, and Shinosuke, thanks to Colorful Commercial, found the disappeared button at the bottom of the river. But do fingerprints really last that long? Well, anyway, of course, Tachibana and the Rodmute arrive, and while Tachibana is satisfied, the Rodmute is not. If he finishes the contract by killing Judge, he will be finally complete and won't need Tachibana anymore either. Of course, Gen gets conveniently knocked out in time for a rematch. This time Shinosuke is able to hold his own thanks to type Wild, and Chase's interference is prevented by Go, outmatched as he may be. That is, until he dons type Dead Hit, which evens out the playing field, and Chase can't use Right Crosser for the simple fact that Mac sent his bike away. Smart thinking, and by fighting just as smart, Shinosuke manages to defeat Judge. The Rodmute's death is distraction enough for Mac to land a critical hit on the Shinigami, who's forced to retreat, and then we discover the reason why Okajima of all people had to die, because he unknowingly humiliated Judge by helping him. I really wish Go ahead and stop again, he deserved a punch and more, and I kind of agree with them letting Tachibana go. I mean, what would the church be anyway? Thinking really hard about how much he hated that guy? First, kudos to the writers for this two-parter which destroys the whole black and white mentality. If I find myself genuinely agreeing with someone who's acting outside the law and questioning if it's right, that's good writing. Second, fuck the writers of these episodes for all the plot holes and the people seeing Go and Shinosuke transform. Now that I think about it, how many human criminals have they transformed in front of? I mean, okay, one convict saying that he saw a cop and or his partner's little brother transform into Kamen Riders may be considered a loony, but if they start piling up, all saying the same thing without a previous contact, that starts ringing a bell! I mean, I really like the result, it was a very good couple of episodes and it deals well with complicated themes like justice, revenge, prejudice. There are kids watching this, I bet some girls too, and they show them a girl abandoned 2 days before her wedding! Japan is already having a demographic crisis on its own, showing this kind of thing to little girls takes balls, but it may also push little boys to not be as shitty. Also, you know what? For how silly or incompetent it shows police to be, Drive is not exactly scorched earth. I mean, Kamen Rider is a cop. His friends are cops. They may blunder, they may make mistakes, but they believe in what they do and stand for it every step of the way. You can't buy that kind of good PR. If the Japanese police gets a sudden influx of recruits from the target audience generation of Drive, you'll know whose fault it is. Well, that's it for this episode, Rider fans. What do you think? Agree? Disagree? Wish you had a colorful commercial of your own? Let me know in the comments or one of my social media accounts. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and Kamen Rider Tyson with English subtitles is out! Fuck yeah! Ciao!